Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say like dominoes. I'ma take you out with another spike drop. Overheated, but I love to lock and load. I hear the echo, I hear the echo. Bang bang on a bad team with the versatile, ta-ta-ta-ta all day. Enough with the chit chat, steady with the one tab. I'ma set it off, just wait. Oh, no me voy con la oh no. Sabe que la alfa soy yo. Go, vete vuelve cuando no estoy así. Desapareció. Oh, como piensa que no traigo la peña, la tercera solo. Dame chatarrero que se va a hacer rico. De lo que dejaré de ti por el suelo. When my back's against the wall, all the mirrors will do. Watch me ignite it. We're from different worlds. Mirror, mirror, can you feel the burn? Watch me ignite it. Watch me
Looking at the world from the eye of the Horus. If you Alexander the Great, then I am the Porus. Coming straight from the mud like I am a lotus. So हाथियों का बल कैसे सकेगा तू मुझे रोका. देख तू कैसे मैं लड़ूं, तुम लोगों से ऐसे मैं डरूं. करूं मैं जिससे मैं तरुण, पानी पे चलूं मैं जिससे मैं वरुण. चाहे मैं जीऊं या मरूं, जो करना चाहूं मैं वही तो करूं. आता है तू ना करीब, तू गली जीप, जब तक कटे ना तेरी ये जीप. Better believe you're gonna be, pick up a seat, get your team. I'm the king of kings, brother in arms in a battle. You all gonna die if you act like a vandal. Bring the realms to reality from every angle. This is the public service announcement from Mumbai to the rest of the world. I am a Raja. I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाजाना. ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना. 'Cause I am the Raja. 'Cause I am the Raja. I am the 'Cause I am the Raja. Look in my eyes, what do you see? I'm more than average, man. I'm a maverick, I can grow flowers on a barren land. Break a mountain with my bare hands and step back and cause a literal avalanche. Should have been about is traveling. अष्टभुजाएं मेरी जैसा मैं टरेंचुला. ना है कोई तोड़ मेरा जब से पूर्वजों का ज्ञान मिला. मेरे जैसा मिलेगा कोई ना तू और चाहे जो भी था सबकी कबर मैंने खोदी. क्या तुम लगाओगे बोलियां, कम पड़े गोलियां. चंद्रगुप्त ने मौर्य या किला तू लोरिया. Come to me and you just gonna die. That's really a given. I am invincible and you are invisible. See, that's really a difference. Get out of my way, I'll leave the world. The choice is yours. I don't kill my enemies, I play with them. That's what the toys are for. From Mumbai to the rest of the world, I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाजाना. ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना. 'Cause I am the Raja. 'Cause I am the Raja. I am the 'Cause I
is the moment where everything shifts. What are you afraid of?
A sharp bit of indecision though. Yes, Fancy's able to classics doing work though. Felu gonna do
Pressured, yet still, he holds down from hell, but all the kills go the
right. Didn't work out in the lockdown, especially gonna do some damage. Felu to some description, and they seem very comfortable. You get to see how the Cypher setup can be very, very strong, very, very awkward, and Hero, okay, if you just don't respect the smoke, straight angle here, Hero has to just hold W to get into the con.
going to trigger the guiding light, but it's not really gonna trigger Bolt for much more. It's once again another hat trick. Two players on Garage. working their way onto the side, angles, window and ball, sticking.
Seulement un kill, ça aurait pu en faire beaucoup plus. Et Lewen répond au skill.
Répondant, ouais.
L'effet de surprise pourrait être fréquent. Il l'a vu, tu l'as dit, mais il prend premier.
Oh,
il enchaîne. Les gens sont alignés. Là, ça devient compliqué. Swagdor, non. Au niveau de la Hookah, il y a le Hookah dans le dos. Swagdor, il vient de mettre n'importe quoi. Pour l'instant, ça se passe bien. Belle open de Lewen.
Ouh, ils sont en train de crosser de smoke, mais ils check pas. Les enfants, ils se régalent.
Kill. Et ça devrait s'arrêter là.
Oh,
Mike David va enchaîner des joueurs. Oh non, pas encore.
C'est en train de le faire.
Ok, il y a deux snipes.
Alors, on a l'art. Sauf que là, il s'est infiltré tout seul. Double kill de sa part.
Non, Lone, il est pas de ce côté. Oh non.
Swagdor.
Et c'est Swagdor qui va aller clutch ça.
The clash is in full swing with two of our underdogs already toppling the VCT Titans. Hold on tight everybody, because today set the stage for two top of the table showdown. Hello everyone and welcome to day 4 of EMEA Clash. I am your host Kumquat, and today on the desk with me is MP. How are you?
I'm so good. Yesterday was an incredible day and I'm expecting more from today. I think this tournament is starting to take shape. EMEA Clash is here. UCAM yesterday, perfect performance. Enterprise as well. I mean, if you missed those matches, you have to go back and see. I'm not gonna spoil too much. I think we're gonna take a look at those matches a little bit later, at least the bracket. But that was a banger day.
Banger day indeed. You've seen some in the highlights just previously, and we had amazing matches on this broadcast. Well, currently we're actually riding the wave now on EMEA Clash. 4 teams eliminated yesterday. That's a lot. It's actually a quarter of all the teams, a third, sorry, I'm bad at math. A third of the team have been eliminated. So this definitely sets up the pace for the rest of the tournament.
Oh yeah, and we were kind of expecting maybe all of the teams that were eliminated to be challengers teams, but that's totally not the case. 2 VCT teams were eliminated, 2 challengers teams, so we're kind of evened out right there. I'm gonna be honest, today there's gonna be more challenger teams eliminated, but we're gonna focus on the upper final situation in the main broadcast, but I think it's gonna be an interesting day anyhow.
Yes, and we've, as you said, we've already seen truly impressive performances from the challengers team, especially I think of EP Enterprise, who scored a colossal win against KC on Pearl. It was so impressive. I think this is definitely what the tier 2 team were searching while going in this tournament, is to have an opportunity to show the extent of their skill.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is exactly why the tournament was formed, so we can see challengers teams versus VCT teams. And I think one of the most interesting parts about these games, about these wins for Enterprise and UCAM, is hearing the IGLs talk about these games and maybe the differences between VCT teams and challengers teams right now and how they feel they face against these teams. I think Bult was one of the players that talked about discipline. We saw that quite a lot on the side of Enterprise, and to me, I just love to hear the insight, the knowledge that these players have, even though they might not be quite yet on the VCT level.
Not quite yet, but definitely they're trying to close the gap. And before we start on the day, you know it now, there is the second clash. Just a quick reminder, if anyone is new on the broadcast, for each team we selected a special clip with the one of their best recent play, and during each matchup you will be able to vote for the play that you prefer in the chat. The winner from each confrontation will advance in the special second clash bracket, and at the end of the tournament we will be able to elect a winner that wins what, MP?
eternal glory.
Yes.
That is exactly what you win from this second clash. And I love this. It's a second shot to win, even if you are not in the first clash anymore. KC, for example, we see them from on the left side of the bracket. They dropped out yesterday, but they're still in contention for that eternal glory in the second clash. The Jet 4K from 11 was incredible. I wonder if it's quite enough to take them all the way to the finals. Today we're gonna focus on the right side of the bracket, where actually Focus is standing as well. There's gonna be Navi versus Focus, which both of these teams are out of this tournament or out of the first clash already. So they have that second shot as well.
Yes, and I think maybe KC could go to the end because they actually took down the Frenzy play, which I think was one of the best clips that we've seen. So definitely there is a huge chance that KC can get at least the win on the second clash, if not on the first clash. But for now, for today, we have the play from Navy first.
I'm excited to see, because this is something that I've not seen quite yet. Navi, I think they were kind of underwhelming yesterday. They couldn't quite get the win, so I'm interested to see whether this is a great clip from Filu.
It's against KC, no less, so this is the chance to maybe get the advantage.
Oh, yeah, kind of missing a couple of shots there. Let's see if Phil can pop off. Maybe it's a hero clip. Oh, it's a good defensive side clip from Filu, and Hero. Is he quite good enough to face against maybe Levin on the other side of the bracket? Well, I'm not the one to decide, but still a decent clip nonetheless. I'm really excited to see what we're gonna see from the side of Focus as well. Oh, great shot from Phil.
Oh no, okay, it's a replay, we see it twice. Yeah, I think there's some sniper, some rifle. I kind of agree with you in what you not really said, is that the KC clip was a bit better, but this is a question for later, because right now they are facing another team. I quite like what we've seen from Navy, but maybe it's a bit less, energy is down a bit. So let's see what Focus has to offer.
Yeah, I mean, Focus, they were a really decent team in this tournament, so I'm expecting, Serial. Serial is always the guy who delivers a lot of great clips. Playing under Team Liquid last year, had a phenomenal year in my opinion, even though he's now back in Tier 2. Is he gonna get the clutch? I mean, I know he is. There's no way he would be in this clip. I mean, to be honest, I think that was a great clip from Serial to get that clutch as well in the end. Hey, I'm not the one doing the voting, but that was an incredible clip, at least for me.
But you're trying to influence the voters, I can see that. But I tend to agree with you. I think this clutch was pretty amazing, a 1v4. So, and he gets the round on top of it, so really great play from Sirius. But we've seen on this tournament that he is actually an insane player, so definitely props to him. But it's your, in the chat, your turn to vote, to decide. No matter where you are watching, you can decide which team from Navy or Focus will advance in the second clash bracket.
Yeah, I mean, once again, I'm happy I don't have to do the voting. I don't have to be the one to decide which one goes through, because I couldn't do that, even though for me, I know which clips I would vote for, but I don't want to be the one doing any deciding here.
I don't remember actually the last two that we're gonna see later in the day, so this is a surprise every time because my memory apparently is not that great. But let's put this aside because we have some new tweets for you. So if you use the hashtag EMEA Clash yesterday, maybe one of your tweets will be here today and we can laugh about it all together.
Yeah, and if you haven't used the EMEA Clash hashtag
Why not?
yet, you should use it. You might get to be on the broadcast. And right here, we saw a lot of organization yesterday to be here. Obviously, we have Enterprise and Navi again, but a lot of these tweets are from the community members, some of which you already know the names, Mini and Soul Chains right there. I love these tweets. They are usually incredible. Some memes here and there as well.
Yeah, I love the tweet from Mini because it's obviously talking about West Side Euro, which I really, really liked. It was so impressive. I don't know if they will carry this onto Tier 1, but definitely this was, as he says, it's quite true. It was a great use of Clash, actually.
Yeah, and that's one of the things we talked about yesterday already. Clash is the place, or a place to make these kind of plays, make these kind of adjustments, kind of look where to go with your team members. And Westside, incredible performance. I think dropped 24 kills on both of the maps there. So
it was absolutely crazy.
Damn.
There's nothing to describe what I felt during that game. It was absolutely insane, and I cannot wait to see more, I hope, because we're going to see Giant X today, so I really hope we're going to see a little bit more of this treasure that Westside brought to the arena.
Yeah, and it's not going to be the last time we see Giant X. Today, it doesn't even matter whether they win or lose. The bracket is favorable for them because if they win, they go to the final, but if they lose, they still have a chance. They are not in an elimination match quite yet. I'm really keen to see how Giant X can face against FUT, but we do have another game as well, which is Team Vitality and ULF, and I'm gonna be honest, this bracket is gonna be spicy. I do love to see those challenger tier teams face against each other. Unfortunately for them, they are in the elimination matches on the lower bracket. You see Enterprise Esports versus Job Life on the right side and UCAM versus Besiktas Esports on the left side. Those are not going to be on the main broadcast, but the ones on upper bracket, upper final are going to be here, and I think they're going to be exciting.
Definitely. And one thing to note is that because there is the Alpha and Omega bracket, so teams are actually mixing, the two winners from today's matches will not face each other in the final. They will actually be each in their own final, facing either a challenger team or the loser from the other bracket, upper bracket final. If that makes sense for everyone, because this sentence was definitely not easy to say.
Yeah, I mean, it goes like all the way like this. I don't know, it goes across. We should know how it goes. I mean, when I look at that, I do know.
It's
but
pretty clear.
It is. It can be sometimes tough to read, but obviously Vitality, if they win today, Wolf, if they win today, they go to the other bracket and face against the other bracket lower final team right there. It's gonna be interesting to see, but we have some games today, and before we go too deep into the bracket, I think we want to take a little bit better look onto those games.
Yes, we had some interesting matches yesterday on our partner stream, so thank you for broadcasting the matches that we are not able to see. We have actually some highlights for you.
Sehr gut aus. Garnik da mit 2. Auf der Box. Jetzt wollen sie aber gerade rein. Und da fliegt Roman Gold richtig. Was ein Flick.
Sat yaratmış olabilir ama abi saygı hiç kontrol etmedi. Enzo hasarlar geliyor. Enzo.
Evet, bu arada...
Şimdi Enzo'yu kovalayan top var. Alt tabı vurdu. Enzo! Enzo! Nami'yi gönderdi. CT'de oldu anlaşılacak Leyla ile birlikte. Beşi bırakıyor Koji. Hemen yarıyı almaya çalışacaklar ama izin vermedi Koji.
Gut, okay, wichtig, dass das One-on-One gewinnen kann. Aber jetzt haben wir hier ein Timing. Und Doppelkill für Pyro mit der Outlaw. Er hat aber nicht gesehen, dass da noch einer rumflutscht.
Das ist so wichtig.
Jawohl.
Molsi, erfolgreich und durch die Smoke.
Der zwei kann geflammt werden, aber
Pace. Wie kann Influx da durchkommen? Das haben sie nicht auf dem Schirm und er bekommt 2 rausholen können. Wir müssen jetzt hier unbedingt den Frag machen. Nee. Aber Influx macht 2.
Ja.
Nein, oh Gott, bitte nicht. Oh, ich hasse es nicht.
In Impressive gameplay from all of these teams. Job Life actually beat Stallions, so Stallions is out of the EMEA Clash right now. Job Life, they were absolutely amazing. Almost all the players were on point.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and no wonder, because you have such a experienced roster. Like I highlighted yesterday, you have Enzo, but then you have that tier 1 experience from different players as well. Doma has been around forever, Chiwa, an incredible player, then you have Kamuk and Runner as well. It's a hard team to face against, especially for Stallions. And for Job Life, it's great because they can continue their track.
Yes, and on the side of Besiktas, they actually managed to win against Focus. I was quite surprised, but props to them for taking the win. Today, we will have the 2 matches against VCT EMEA teams. Yes, this is a top of the table showdowns for us today. We are very lucky, actually, and we're gonna start with Vitality against ULF. This is the revenge that ULF were looking for.
Oh yeah, they got absolutely dominated by the start of the year, obviously having to play with the stand-ins. So ULF definitely looking for that redemption arc. On the other hand, we have Giant X versus FUT. I think there are some grudges in terms of that matchup as well. FUT, they couldn't quite get their best performance at the start of the year in kickoff, and now they're looking to get that redemption. Getting that final position right there would be incredible. And if you took a look at the lower side of that match schedule, you saw 3 Turkish teams still left in this tournament, which to me is incredible, because those Turkish teams, they were kind of struggling on the kickoff. There was one team, BBL, that got absolutely dominated, got first, but the rest of the Turkish teams were at the bottom of the barrel. So I do love them getting that redemption, being here in the top 8 and maybe continuing further as well.
Yes, definitely. I think Turkish players are just from another galaxy. They're definitely very, very strong. You've seen that there are 2 matches that we will not see on the main broadcast today. It's the Challengers elimination, but they are available on our partner stream. So if you want to see Enterprise against Job Life, don't hesitate to tune in on Valorant France. And later in the evening, if you want to see UCAM against Besiktas, you will be able to see it on Valorant Spain. But for now, let's look at our main matchup. It's Vitality against ULF, and we have some good players from Vitality, especially Chronicle, who has shown an amazing arbor.
Yeah, we love seeing Chronicle pick something new, to kind of go outside of his maybe comfort zone, but we do see Sayonara back in the roster. Obviously, both of these teams kind of have the similar problem. They have young prodigies. They were too young. Sayonara still not eligible for VCT. Actually, I think in a week and a little bit over, he will be 18. So this is a perfect tournament for Sayonara to get into that roster. I think these games are very, very important in terms of implementing Sayonara into the roster fully, especially in these official games.
I agree with you completely. I think that's the experience they needed to actually get the synergy within the team and be ready for stage 1 with Sayonara as part of it, so that they can maybe find a little bit more success than what they had in the kickoff, even though the run was not bad at all. Something I wanted to highlight also is that Yempi is back on Duelist. He has been playing Initiators now for several years, and it's good to see him back on the Duelist role because he really, really performed in the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I mean, Yampi has shined. He was the one to get the highlighted clip on the second Clash as well. This Yoru has been incredible. Obviously, Yampi came from CS. He started as a Jet, as a duelist, because he was really strong AWP player. Now, transitioning into Valorant, he picked up that operator quite a lot, but then he went to a different role, to Initiator. I'm glad to see Yampi still has that fire in the duelist role, but on the other side we have ULF. I think this is one of the strongest roster that we have in this tournament. They didn't quite show it at the start of the year in kickoff, but there's a reason for that. they had to play with substitutes. Now Echo and Sop are in the roster, and to me, this looks like a scary roster.
It definitely looks very scary. I think this full roster works very well. The only thing I'm kind of scared about is that Echo had his birthday, so he will be able to play in stage 1, but Sop still has one more month to go, and I'm not sure he will be able to play in stage 1. So I hope he can, but this is gonna be difficult if he's not there, because I think the 5 players, this is really what makes the team works, and they invented, they reinvented and invested actually the beginning of the year. They decided to invest in these 2 young players and play the kickoff with 2 subs. So they really trusting what's gonna happen with the whole roster, and I agree with them because this is very impressive.
Yeah, it's been very impressive, and I love that you kind of highlighted that they can play with Echo now in the stage 1. The question mark is, can they play with Sop? It might be, they probably won't be able on the first week. If I'm not mistaken, the season will start on March 10th. Might be wrong on that, you have to double check, but it's still really good to get this repetition under their way with the full roster and get these players implemented here. They struggled really heavy at the start of this season, like we kind of highlighted already, playing 3-13 and 1-13 against Vitality. Now they're looking for the redemption arc, and I'm here for it.
For now, it's more than a redemption arc. I think facing Vitality is kind of the true test, because this is not only mid-season clash, this is a real test for both of these teams, because I think both Ults and Vitality want to have a strong result in stage 1, so they want to be sure that they're on top of the game and can actually get strong results in the game, and this is the chance to actually show that it is working. We see the face-to-face from Chronicle and Sop, 2 amazing player. One is the Sentinel and the other is the Duelist. One is very young and the other quite a veteran on the scene.
Yeah, when we check at the stats here, 2 really different ways to make impact in 2 completely different roles. You hit the nail in the head. Here's a decorated veteran versus young prodigy. Chronicle has been to multiple tournaments, and actually when Sop played his first ever VLR recorded official back in 2023, at that point Chronicle had already won multiple titles, including regional Masters, Masters Berlin, Lock in Sao Paulo. He had been in Champs finals, and a month after the Sop's first official, Chronicle won another Masters title in Tokyo. So when we look at the titles here, there's a clear difference. This is where the experience meets the raw Turkish young talent. But on the side of Chronicle, I love his playstyle. I think he's very calm and collected, and always will make you scared for your back if he's playing that Viper and you haven't seen him in the round. But we've already seen him stepping out of that comfort zone, like I highlighted. On the other side, you have a very explosive young player. He loves to play this explosive style Valorant, but he also loves his snipers. You can see him pick up that outlaw operator on the attacking side and go for those aggressive picks, working the map with great confidence, and I do love that. Talking about maps, map veto, one of the most interesting parts about this matchup, I think.
Yes, obviously, ULF is banning Corrode, Vitality is banning Split. It makes total sense because Vitality is actually undefeated on Corrode and ULF is undefeated on Split. So this is a good choice for both of the team. The pick of Haven from ULF is interesting. They haven't actually picked the map this often, but I'm really looking forward for the Abyss because this is the map that we've seen with the Arbor on Chronicles. So this is gonna be very interesting.
Oh yeah, we do love to see that Abyss. I think it's a great highlight of Haven. Obviously, Vitality, they only have one Haven repetition this year. It was against BPL Esports. They lost that. ULF, they've had 2. It's not that extensive, but to me, ULF didn't kind of have that comfort map, especially when we look at the stats. I think they kind of struggled this year, but picking a map here was a question mark to me. I was thinking maybe they go to Split, maybe if Split is banned like we saw, maybe they go to Pearl, but Haven is the one. Bind as the decider map, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be something else, but I do love to see that Bind. If we go all the way there, it's not questionable yet.
Yes, because first we have to have the Haven, and I think this is very interesting because they actually switch their comp with the addition of Soap and Echo. They decided to switch, ditch the Killjoy, and take the Chamber for Echo. So it really worked against Navy in EMEA Clash. So I think they're kind of confident, and they want to see a little bit further if it can work against a team like Vitality that is supposed at least to be a little bit better than Navy. I think it's going to be very interesting. And on the side of Vitality, as you said, they played once, lost. So this is also going to be a change. I wonder if they're going to try a new comp also, because I think they're wanting to try some new things. So we could be surprised there.
Yeah, I mean, Chronicle said they wanted to experiment some new stuff, so I think that could be something to be seen. Right here, you can see the poll results, the chat, the viewers, they think Vitality will win. 71% has voted to Vitality.
I don't agree.
29 to ULF. To me, I think Vitality should be higher when we look at the first match they played against each other. Sure, ULF is with a different composition right now.
It's completely different for me. It's not the same thing at all. It's completely different setup, and I really think ULF can surprise the viewers. But maybe viewers are Vitality fans. They're from the Beehive. We don't know.
They could be. They definitely could be. I mean, Vitality, they do have that. They weren't playing with Sayonara back then as well. So kind of similar situation for both of these teams. Vitality, let's see. Yes, they are.
Changed. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. They're running with the Sky as well. I do love that. Jumpy actually kind of shifting away from what he has done this year. He's going back to the Sky. Obviously, he's played Teho and Sova this year, but Jumpy Sky was something that we kind of saw a lot in Fracture. I do love Sky here, especially against this Viper. It allows you to pop through the Viper wall, maybe counter Fabian completely on the attacking side. Fabian, I think he's losing a lot of confidence when he sees that Sky, because you can absolutely surprise Chronicle on Chamber. That's...
Yeah, wow. This is gonna be a good one, I'm sure, and we will have the pleasure to follow it with our lovely caster, Volt and Morgan. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, MP and Kim, and we are finally ready to step onto the battlefield. Morgan, it's been a while. I guess now this is a minute takeover. Unfortunately, Stallions is no more in the clash, but this is indeed a new look for both sides. Not only is Sayonara a new addition, and of course, as we see, like Vitality not shying away from changes, but this is supposed to be a much scarier ULF now with both Demure and Storm both off the roster, and now the main team that got them into VCT back in full firing force.
Yeah, thanks to Kumquat and of course MP for the lovely analysis and Volt for the lovely intro. I'm so happy to be here, except it only feels like I'm a little bit late to the party though, because again, just as you said, we lost our only MENA representative with Stallions going and getting knocked out immediately. I wish that this team could have had a Kai play with them. That guy is a legend, he's a menace to play against. Definitely a genius for his age as well, but we are who we are. Today we have Vitality versus Team ULF, which is again two of the best performing teams so far. Coming in here with a lot of fan bases coming in from them. It's a Turkish versus French massacre we're about to witness between both of them in Haven, which is of course a map that has been chosen by ULF Esports in the beginning. Vitality chose to begin defense, which could be a little bit of an exciting choice. For most teams, when you get a map that favors attacking side, like Haven for example, someone might care to argue that this map definitely does favor attackers. It has 3 sides, it's harder to cover, you have to keep your team scattered across the map, but someone could also argue that you have Haven, it's one of the smallest maps in the game. So essentially it's very easy for defenders to rotate and cover sites and everything. What I'm more excited about though is something that also caught MP's attention, Chronicle on the Chamber. And I like the diversity in the agent selection between both of these two. We only see like one of two agents get duplicated between both of them, but going for the Jet instead of the Neon, going for the Chamber for a little bit of more attacking and, let's say, capabilities when it comes to defense. You get that free op to cover sites and everything. I like the agent selection between these two teams, and I'm excited to step into the first game, which is Haven.
Yeah, here's the thing. I understand why Vitality are picking defense. Sure, like theoretically, indeed, Haven is an attacking sided map, but that means that you kind of set the pace for what your next off is going to be. You get 7 rounds, maybe like 8, depending on how good the first off can go for Vitality. They can feel it. They can coast back a little bit on defense. They don't need to show all the strats that maybe they want to keep for the remainder of the event, or maybe even for stage 1. Because remember, they still do have that on the board. And they, of course, will want to go to either Masters or Champions, depending on how things will go for them. But at least from my perspective, that also opens up a lot more of the ground in case like they get like only a 9-3 scoreline and they're on the losing end. They can bring out more of what they have in the strap book, because I'm pretty sure they're a team that seems to have a lot of variability. We've seen that from Yampi now, stepping away from that secondary duelist. I do like the Chamber. He kind of gives you the freedom of a duelist, but at the same time, he gives you the value of a Sentinel. Yes, sure, the trademark isn't going to be the same catch-all util as you would get from maybe a Cypher for comparison, but I think that that's the composition that kind of finds the identity of this Vitality team. A lot of players that have the firepower. Some people are more passive, like Kron and Sayonara a little bit, but some people are a lot more aggressive, just like Durka, who's going to be fully unleashed on the Jet.
Yeah, an agent like Chamber does have a lot of favors as well, because the Headhunters are essentially one of the strongest weapons in the game, or essentially like it's one of the, let's say, economy friendly. You go into an eco round, you can just spend 200 credits for 2 shots that maybe translate into 2 kills or 2 Headhunteds, pun not intended, but you can also save the money for the operator when you play the Tour de Force. I don't know how to spell that one. How do you pronounce it correctly in French? I studied German in school. Was it Tour de Force? I don't know. My accent is probably horrible, but I'm
not going to try it.
I'm trying. Sorry, forgive me. But for all my French fans out there, Chamber is one of the biggest and the loveliest agents in Valorant for so many reasons, because he can get that agent saving you a lot of money on eco rounds. And again, in a map that is, let's say, very OP dependent when it comes to defending sites. Again, you have so many good spots for an OP here. Think of A Tower, think of C Long, think of playing double doors with the trademark plays behind the door, unless they have to waste UDL for it, or if they try to shift walk there maybe to grab some info before they're out. You can have so many good spots for Chronicle to set up his traps. You can have so many good spots for him to cover up with the rendezvous teleportation as well, which definitely allows him to rotate faster to sites. I've always been a fan of Chamber. I think this agent has been nerfed to the ground by Riot Games for so many patches, but still, if you are a good player with Chamber, you can have a lot of pressure applied on so many sites. Yeah. And again, for a map like Haven, you need someone that can rotate faster. Yes, just as you said, you can definitely cash out way more information and way more utility usage on someone like Cypher. Specifically that his ultimate is still one of the cheapest and less costly ones. Neural Theft still costs only 7 ultimate points. But having someone that can rotate faster and be on the aggression with us when we switch sites, not just have to hold angles for us and have to lurk, Chamber definitely does put them on a lot of pressure here. Now, I would love to hear what you have on the Neon versus Jet comparison, because these are also 2 very different agents. They're duelists, yes. One of them does have at least some util to help themselves, which is the Neon, with the entries when it comes to also the walls that they can provide, relayables to set up sites for yourself. Which agent do you prefer? Would you be on the Jet or on the Neon side?
I mean, realistically, I'm the bigger fan of the Neon. I just feel like that is just so old now, right? Like, when you think about the value you get from a Neon, from a Waylay, like from a Yoru, that I'm really surprised that we are not seeing here. I'm just thinking, like, hey, like, all those give a lot more. Yoru gives you the flashes, plays like a pseudo initiator. The ultimate is so valuable in post-run. And the Neon as well gives you the same thing, right? Like, it's blades, but better or worse. It depends on, like, what do you feel about, like, the one top potential from the blade storm, or just the continuous beam from the overdrive. But I think the bigger factor about Neon is just how explosive they can be. And that's going to be the one thing lacking from Vitality once they pivot into attack, is that outside of Durka diving, the rest of the team is going to be a lot slower on the uptake in comparison to ULF.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, but the only part that I might disagree with is Jet is not really that old. Still, the dash it does give a lot of space for your team. Even if the agent is essentially not stunning someone, but I like what you did here with the comparison between Overdrive and Blaze Storms, because you still have the one-shot potential coming in from Blaze Storms. Peek one corner, get someone, dash out from danger, and you can have essentially 2 operas in your team, with the Jet also maybe looking to cover corners with that. So I think that Jet and Chamber make very good rotations. They are extremely quick when it comes to rotations. Neon, yes, does the same exact thing because you can have it rotating pretty quickly with high lane. But I've always been, let's say, on the lenient side when it comes to dashing insights. The tremendous amount of space Jet can buy and the tremendous amount of space Awele can buy, which I think is the strongest duelist in the game now, is safe to denounce because you can also go back immediately when you feel like you've messed up things. Also, the Divergency does give her some initiative power, which makes her one of the strongest agents. Her ultimate covers so much from every side, and in a map that is like as small as Haven when it comes to sites entry, I think Waylay's ultimate also does a lot of favor. Jet, in theory, also giving you additional smokes and everything does give you like
they're
so
very
much
selfish,
value,
right? But the smokes are selfish. Like,
yeah,
you usually see teams use the smokes. I feel like Breeze is probably the best example where you've seen teams do that on the Jet.
I don't like that map.
She just here's the thing. It's not about the map, okay? It's just about the example. Like, Jet dashes inside a smoke, preferably on an elevation, so the shots are even easier. With a Sova recon, suddenly you can shoot the people from the heart of that smoke, and that makes your entry so much easier. The pathing for the Jet is so easy because of the cloudburst. But I'm also thinking about the other factors that we're relying on that, right? Like, we're talking about the operator, the outlaws, how they have been all week long in Clash. Yampi was the main one that is ulting. Now it's gonna pivot over to Kron, maybe, because even in his time in Liquid, Yampi wasn't shying away from picking up the snipers, even when the agent isn't really the quote-unquote correct one, even if it's not the Jet or the Chamber. He was so pretty happy to do that. And that's where I think that the two Vipers really are going to be really intriguing in that composition and just slicing over those lines of sight and how much or how little of a space the snipers will get on either side.
Yeah, we've done a lot now when it comes to Asian comparison, and I bet all of you are waiting in the game, like in the chat. Where is the game? Give us the game. What are these guys yapping about? We have a tech issue that is happening between both teams right now, Vitality and ULF. So whatever your choice was, either you tailwind to get some snacks or high gear and sprint to get something to drink while you enjoy this stream, because we're going to be going off to a very small short break, and we're going to be coming right back with a lot of action. So bring your snacks, high gear into it, dash into it with that tailwind, and come back really quickly, because we're about to begin.
until I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore. Cause I know I'm gonna be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah, I don't wanna wait anymore. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. See that I'm surrounded by predators. It's critical, they got me in my element. It's dirty how you trying to keep it elegant. My eyes open wide when everyone around me is another me. See my life, close my eyes. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down.
Looking at the world from the eye of the Horus. If you Alexander the Great, then I am the Porus. Coming straight from the mud like I am a lotus. So हाथियों का बल कैसे सकेगा तू मुझे रोका? देख तू कैसे मैं लड़ूं, तुम लोगों से ऐसे मैं डरूं. करूं मैं जिससे मैं तरुण, पानी पे चलूं मैं जिससे मैं वरुण. चाहे मैं जीऊं या मरूं, जो करना चाहूं मैं वही तो करूं. आता है तू ना करीब, तू बेटी चीप, कभी ना कटे ना तेरी ये जीप. Better believe you're gonna bleed, pick up a seat, get your team. I'm the king of kings, brother in arms in a battle. You all gonna die if you act like a vandal. Bring the realms of reality from every angle. This is the public service announcement from Mumbai to the rest of the world. I am a Raja. I am the Raja. भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा शनाजाना. तू मेरी तरफ आना. आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाजाना. ये भारतीय भाषा.
Well, that was a little bit lengthy, and hopefully it wouldn't take too much more. We're getting set up in the server again to start off the game, as we've said. You know, maybe you can talk a little bit about how things should go, though. Like, I mean, last time the two teams faced off, we can definitely talk about that one. Of course, as we've said, different rosters, different expectations. They did not play the Haven, though, which maybe is supposed to be the, like, I guess it's the X factor here for ULF. But realistically speaking, the one thing that always gets me about the Haven is I feel like it's best off for a decider, because it's just the map is so solved from how much the teams have played it, and it now have become one of the least variable in terms of like the core of the game, right? You're always gonna have a Viper, you're always gonna have a secondary controller. So then it becomes about just the initiators and the duelists and how you're actually gonna line up the rest of your composition more than anything.
Yeah, again, the variety in the agent selection gives a room for diversity. You have a Neon on the team, you have a Jet on the other, you have a Chamber on the one, you don't have anything like similar to that on the other side, because again, running casual Sentinels and double controllers and everything does give you a lot of freedom when it comes to setting up post plans as well. I'd rather speak more about the V2. When it comes to the V2, again, we said we're going to be watching Haven, which was ULF's choice, and Vitality chose willingly to go defense on that side, and then Abyss is Vitality's choice, but ULF chose to go on attacking side for that. If we get to reach the decider, which is very likely, again, in a series like these between two Titans arguing for who deserves the throne a little bit more than the other, we're going to be watching ULF on defense when it comes to binds. So we're sticking out to the classics for the first and the third map, but for the second one, Abyss, I believe that this map has also been out for quite some time now, so teams should definitely have practiced enough on how to play on it. But we may and we may not be seeing bind in case Vitality or ULF decide who deserves to win this one more. Now, Haven again, just not to be in a deja vu, just in case you guys have heard this before the break, but for those of you who haven't, this is a clash between two Titans, one from the French, one from the Turkish fan base is cheering up for him here, and Vitality and ULF have been both really performing very well. One would argue because Vitality has been recently maybe underperforming a little bit. This is not the Vitality in its full potential. This team has talents that can play way better than they are right now, and we did say this, that there's a lot more potential to be unlocked from Vitality. Essentially, you have a roster with 5 stars, a mastermind that is like Yampy, players that are like Chronicle that are insanely good when it comes to gameplay and micromanagement and all the calls mid-rounds and their aim and everything. But we're putting up all of our hopes high for Vitality versus ULF, because this series is not going to be passing out easy without lots and lots of clips and lots heads to be hunted down. Looking at you, Walt.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. I was just looking at like the bracket of kickoff and thinking like how things actually went over for Vitality. And you think about it, right? They lost to BBL, they lost to Fnatic, and I believe in the lower bracket they only lost to Liquid. So they lost to 2 of the 3 teams that went to Santiago. And Fnatic, we've seen the game that they had against Gentlemates, which I would say that full 5-map BO5 was probably the best game that we've had in EMEA all season long in the middle bracket. But at the end of the day, as you said, like this is the team that is supposed to be made to get to those internationals, to make deep runs even in those internationals. So for them not to be there, of course, there's always the element of them actually playing without their full core, because they were waiting for Sayonara, who will now be 18 by the time we go over into stage 1. But even then, right, like the core of the team is supposed to be something that is so solid that you're not really supposed to be worrying about it. Yet here we are, you know, worrying about whether or not Vitality, of all people, will actually be strong enough to take down ULF, which, I mean, realistically speaking, if history repeats itself, this should be a fact of a matter of one team just stomping the other. But as you said, with the full force of ULF, especially considering that force that is coming back is a big brunt of their firepower. Like Sop and Echo are just so good in terms of shooting back, and especially Sop for me has been one of the most impressive players when I've watched the Ascension run in 2025. So my heart goes out for ULF too. But I feel like for Vitality, this is just about a statement more than anything. It's like, we are the best team in this, and we should be kicking out everyone. They've took over Focus, who I thought would be the best team in terms of all the VCL teams, but already Focus are outright. Still Job Life, of course, in the lower side of the bracket in their matter. But like even then, like I think that Vitality should be walking into this one not only confident, but anything less than a convincing victory would be an underperformance from their side.
Yeah, honestly, I think the trifecta doesn't really work that way, because make it make sense. Job Life won Enterprise, but then Besiktas, Stallions won Enterprise, and then Job Life won Stallions. So that should essentially mean that Job Life is better than Enterprise, which doesn't work that way. We still have to see these two teams compete against each other. Now, Besiktas won Focus, and Focus won UCAM. So essentially, Besiktas should be better than UCAM, but again, it doesn't work the same way around, because it's very possible that we see UCAM winning Besiktas, and it's very possible that we see Team Enterprise winning Job Life, because again, do you want to tell me that Stallions are better than KC? Because KC are now out, and we've seen
with a Kai
with each other. With a Kai, maybe.
Yeah, with a Kai, maybe. Without a Kai, I don't know. But let's be very real, though. Let's be very real. I mean, we've seen KC at Blender. We've seen them when they're on their full force in kickoff. I mean, Like the game of Liquid, while yes, people can argue, and you know, like the Valorant slang of like, oh, this game was a bit of a glue fest, and sure, it wasn't the cleanest brand of Valorant of all time, but it was still a highly enjoyable game, and there was a lot of high-level execution there. I gotta say, KC that showed up here in Clash, that wasn't the same team. They were very sloppy. And even me and Madante were talking about this. We're saying that if we take the nameplates off, you would think that Enterprise is the VCT team, and it's the VCL team that is KC. I don't think that we have seen the same from Vitality. I don't think that we have seen the same from who else. I feel like it's also another team that we can label in that way is probably should have been Navi. And well played to UKM though, you know, for getting them off the tournament outright. But right now, we're kind of getting into the thick of it, and I do feel on the other side of bracket, in bracket alpha, GX should be slated for a win against Subbalist as well, which is going to be the next BO3 that we're going to be having. So it brings again that comparison, you know, Vitality and GX and maybe how the brackets will go. Themes not intersecting because of the bracket swapping in the midway when you go down from the upper to the lower bracket also can bring some pretty interesting narratives. But all of that is still going to depend on whether or not we actually get which winner and which loser of those two BO3s to go either into the upper or the lower finals of their own groups, respectively.
Yeah, again, lots and lots of surprises in the EMEA Clash right here, and these teams have definitely a lot to prove. But if I would speak to a little bit about Haven, I think I would say that Vitality, they do have a lot of centers in Haven. This team has a lot of good coordination. They also have a lot of good side execution. Also strong individual and frag power coming in from this team because they're very capable of winning isolated rounds when it comes to low duels, especially in mid and in C-longs. This is the team that you can rely on for these things. However, the one thing we have not been able to win so far is the technical issue. We're still gonna head off to another break. Hopefully this one is going to be our last break before we get into this massacre because again, I made the joke once. I don't want to be the guy doing it again. I high geared into snacks. I tailwinded to make myself a good cup of tea that I can drink while watching this series and commentating on this action, but apparently I was faster than them. So, another technical break, excuse us for this, and we're going to be getting right back into action between Vitality and ULF.
matter in the cold night. Running till I barely feel my feet. Wanna see it through my own eyes. There's no going back, and I'm not afraid anymore. Cause I know I'm gonna be the last one standing. Yeah, I'm not afraid anymore. Yeah, I don't wanna wait anymore. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. See that I'm surrounded by predators. It's critical, they got me in my element. It's dirty how you trying to keep it elegant. Keep my eyes open wide when everyone around me is an enemy. See my life cross my eyes. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say I'm the villain. I scream and nobody listens. Still they say I'm the villain. Too bad you can't take me down. Too bad you can't take me down. You can't take me down. I'm ready to fall. I'm ready to rise up. I will do what it takes. I'll run blind straight into the flames. Watch me burn, alone in the shadows. I'll carry you home on my back. If it's you or me, then I'll take the shot. Still they say
Well, we're finally back straight into the server. No more apologies, no more technicalities. And now it's only down to the 10 players in the server and what they can provide. Vitality have shown that they are the cleanest, the crispest, the most dangerous team in EMEA Clash. And now it is time for ULF with their full force back in act to try to take revenge. I'm Volt and still got the amazing Morgan next to me for this game.
Thank you so much, Volt, for the lovely intro again. Hopefully keeping up all that energy with the high gear going into here. And apparently Sop looking for B-side right here with the relay bolts. An immensely dangerous entry. Seeing the dangerous entry right now, but apparently ULF does want that speedy plan. They've waited long enough for this entry and now gets shot in the head, okay. Falls down to Echo. And now they're down to a 4v5. Retake. But look at that flank. They're all behind them.
Oh, Prospect should have that one to beat. Yampi's the one to find the kill. And now ULF still got 4, but they're extracted off the side. The Headhunter is valuable, and Kron got the support of Sayonara. And now all they need to do is just stick the landing. The flash is so good for ULF, but Fabian still unable to find that kill. That was a concise job from the side of Vitality. No harm, no foul. Pistol round, pretty clean.
Yeah, ULF had a very, very massive entry right here. They got one pick for free. It wasn't even traded. You could plant the spike and get out of the side as fast as you could. But then the post plant here had a few issues. They had not known that they had 4 people behind them. Coming in from window, Neki couldn't even land any damage on either Chronicle or anybody. Maybe like one body shot landed on Sayonara, was it at the time? But it's perfectly fine. At least you can now tell that Vitality are very organized. If you can read how they retake that one out, you can expect them to slow it down when they need the entries for the retakes. Outlaw coming in here from Sop, already paying off. Yampi already has that call from Derka that he should be 1 HP, because that was left on 10 HP. And Fabian knocks down Chronicle with no weapon in hand. It's a classic. This weapon is entirely free, by the way. Getting extremely horrible timing here, Fabian. Sayonara drops out from double doors just before he changes his camera angle. And now it's down to a 3v3, but lucky enough, you still have Neki and Echo without lows on them. Except that Yampi and Sayonara... No, Yampi and Profik can tank at least one shot from that weapon before dying. Different story for Sayonara, though.
Comes down to single points of health for Yampi, but Sayonara, as he said, will not be able to take the bullet of the sniper. Neki peeking in, concise job. And that's the seaside open. Long rotations from both Profik and Yampi. And that just might be curtains called on this round. Profik closes the distance, but Yampi's nowhere near that retake. It just feels very unlikely here for Vitality to actually be able to walk their way through, and that's really the value of that second round Outlaw that we've seen a lot of teams, I mean, more so in the East, I would say. Like, we've seen a lot more in Pacific applied. And right there, damage done by the sniper. Yampi, though, starting that one well. And remember, Echo still lower on health, so the Bulldog could have found the value, but instead, it is that sniper to find all the kills for ULF. Between the 2 Outlaws, I think we found all 5.
Yeah, I really like the fact that we had one Outlaw force here from Sop, and the moment Deka died, they also got a hold on his Outlaw. Again, this is what Neon provides as value. Full shield in Outlaw. Definitely wasn't expected as a force coming in here from Deka, so he shot one shot and he shot that Sop was dead, but Sop was prepared for shooting these double shots. And again, Echo knew he had one job here. Shoot one shot on the Outlaw, tear the health down, and then get back with the rendezvous if you can to make the job easier for Otis, who was also alive against Sky that didn't have guiding lights or anything to help him with the retake, really. So Yampi came, but he had no util. I remember when guiding lights used to rejuve back on Sky by time passing in the middle of the round, but now you have to buy them. Again, inflation, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, one shot buddy here on Echo, but he's able to take it out away from Rendezvous. And it's a full save from Team Vitality. They know how crazy a team like ULF is, and that hurts. The cat outlaw shot to the head knocks down their only duelist.
And with it, the majority of their firepower gone as well. Kron got a few bullets in the Headhunter, and Yampi, the only other player really with any firepower with that bandit. And while he is there in the site, the drone should quickly expose his position. That will make the job a lot easier for ULF if they want to storm the side. They're scaling pretty conservatively here. Spot on that line of sight, not willing to present any duels to Vitality. It's a smart way to play it, really. They're trying to starve them of information, starve them of duels, but still Turkish blood in their veins. You know that they love the heat, and this time Vitality capitalizes. A double kill there. The snakebite is perfect to make Nikki an easy target. And this time Vitality can pay back the favor. The spike has gone over to C, but they got the guns on the side of Vitality, and they can probably play a retake off of it.
Yeah, very good rotation coming in here from Vitality. They stacked 4 people on A side. And their senses, their spider senses, never really paid off because he has Sup and Neki going there, but smart also from ULF not to give the spike to these 2 demons. A little bit crazy going on A side here, but luckily you still have Fabian who's fully utilized, same as Audis who still has kept his paranoia. Didn't need it for the entry on C side because everyone from Vitality was on A side. Seekers now getting Fabian in position, and Seekers in the 3rd round is kind of crazy, but it's just Yampy things. He knows that Chronicle is here, but Chronicle gets the shot before him. He had that Phantom in his hands, and he knows it might be doable. Now Fabian and Echo have one job, delay them. You don't need to take these aim duels. You need to waste your time as much as you can, but Yampy's on the shot for Echo, and it might buy just enough time for Team Vitality to be able to get that defuse, and they do get it as well. They get donated 2 Phantoms and 1 Vandal by ULF. 2 Thrifties back-to-back, one from ULF and one from Vitality. I like it.
Yeah, the difference is, this time Vitality get away with 4 guns, instead of just the 2 that ULF got from the round prior. Of course, the investment even smaller from the side of Vitality in that round. But it was that duel right there, really an unforced error by ULF. I understand that they got the firepower and they think that they got the... They're trading protocols, and the timings from the player at short especially did let them down. And Vitality now making a wise choice inside of the defense, apparently. The way that they're approaching this game has been really impressive. Kron, close on the angle, got the rifle, but there's a fast lane and executing the side itself. It is already pressuring Sayonara. He will not go down without at least being anything. He holds down the fort. The youngster is on for a hat-trick. And that is the take, demoralized and disgruntled. Echo, the sole survivor, sees carcasses all over C long, and he will just be a momentary respite as he quickly joins the rest of their ranks. Vitality are back in full business.
If you know what sayonara means, it means goodbye. And this is what he told them when he saw him and peeking out from C. Paranoia was shuffled. Beautiful timing coming in here from the oven. And I bet you that sayonara definitely went all across Avianoras and Neki, knowing exactly where they were, not even taking a single shot before he falls down, but all thanks to Profik, who bought him a lot of time with that paranoia, sponsoring at least one of his 3 kills on that site. Definitely going in with all of these rounds and entries is not going to be off plan for the rest of the game, because Vitality does know how to counter it, and this is a beautiful prediction coming in here from Deco and Echo. Chronicle already took 1 shot in that double door. I wouldn't be staying in that position too long if I were you, mate.
Nah, he still got the rendezvous. Still feels confident. Not a lot of sight, but it's getting more and more risky. The shades are getting closer, but thankfully Durka still holding that line pretty well. Same can be said about Profik, and that is pretty much the round in its entirety. As long as Kron doesn't die, that means that it is indeed a flawless round for Vitality, which is the best case scenario. Now their economy is in such a good position. We're talking about the snipers. Kron not only have the outlaw, the biggest brother is ready. The tour de force is in effect, but I don't think that he's gonna use it just yet. But that means that it's only 2 out of 5 that are gonna be in the lethal range of that outlaw.
I'm not happy with how ULF are scattered across the map. We had the Omen trying to flank B, get spotted by Derke, and you have your Neon playing on the snipers when it's the only person you want to be going in and making these shots and taking spaces for your team. Now we have a double op. One coming in from Sap and the tour de force coming in for free for Chronicle here. So I wouldn't really be relying heavily on putting my duelist on the op, especially with how ULF has been crazy with going in on sites. Chronicle here takes up too much distance, not enough distance for the rendezvous range. Falls down to Echo, and now Sap gets smoked off, buying more and more time for Yampy. Who's holding that side now, still has all of his utility. And Sayonara does that shoulder peek, doesn't spot anybody. Neki, you should have saved them, but Deke comes up across from B. Beautiful coordination coming in from Vitality, and this is what I told you. They turned Haven into their fortress. This team doesn't lose Haven. And Echo falls down. It's now down to a 3v4, and one of the duelist players on your team has an op. So do we switch that up? Give him a Vandal so you can have a faster entry, maybe, or no? Just shoot him in the head.
Great work from Sayonara, still make this round possible now for their teammates. The AWP and a retake, not the best thing in the world usually. But with the spike planted towards long, Prophet, his dark covers are going to be instrumental. Where he places them makes or breaks the round. But he's breaking the rules himself. Such a good position to be found. The player in plat is not going to be something that he's going to be aware of. But Audax is none the wiser. And that's the force now all down to the operator. Surgically removes the one, but an even better shot from Yampi. That's the 5th on the board for Vitality. Maybe Kron wasn't the best on the sniper. But Yampi absolutely taking them handle here. I gotta say too, like Sayonara is so impressive on this lineup. We're still not really have seen what I would say the optimal form of Vitality. They are still experimenting, of course. Last time around, Yampi was playing the duelist. This time around, he's playing something completely different. So I understand that they're still finding the rhythm, but clearly the person that has been struggling the most has been Durka. He's not really the usual self. He's not the superstar that we kind of expect him to be. And that's going to be the main thing for this Vitality lineup, is that if they get Durka back in full firing force as well, they can be one of the scariest teams in all of EMEA.
Yeah, Stefan, shining here. This player just recently got 18, by the way. Far as I know, he's getting close to 18, or I don't know. I'm not exactly sure if he's 18 yet, but this is one of the youngest players in this match. And here's a fun fact. Coming up here for us on the screen, since moving to Vitality, Durka has redefined his role. In EMEA Clash, he holds a +14 first kill, first death differential, which is the highest of any player remaining in the bracket. Impressive. Knowing Durka and knowing his crazy picks, that sounds like Durka. That does sound like Durka indeed.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. You think of that and you gotta remember, like, the games that he has actually played in Clash is not as big of a sample size as what you would expect it to be. And again, for Vitality, they absolutely dismantled Focus that time around. I gotta say, Durka was a lot better than FaZe in the opening duels, but FaZe, as a second man in, it was really impressive. Right now, Vitality, a lot less so, but still Prophet. Done some immense work, down to 23 points of health, and out of absolutely anywhere he could have gone. He's all the way in the attacker spawn. Sayonara, using that chaos to his own element, but even with the weaker buy, I found such a magnificent space here. There's supposedly an easier duel for Neki, and if he finds the shot on Sayonara, this round could easily break open, so it is all about the timing of Sop as well. If the two of them can combine, it would be something great for ULF, but realistically, Sayonara, so aware, well above his years and wits, and that round now feels slated to the B side, which theoretically is the easiest to retake of all three.
Yeah, we gotta give it to Prophet for this round, though. Running in from sub like a bad habit, making sure that this ultimate is over, making sure electricity gets shut down on this Neon before he wants to take the second shot on him. Neki has been able to land an operator for himself, though, and Prophet has been stuck for a while now in the attacker space. Rolls her vest for a lovely omen. I think the retake should be relatively easy because Yamp is able to get him back to full HP here. No shields, but it doesn't matter. There's an operator, so it's irrelevant anyways. But you still have a guiding light, you still have a trailblazer, you still have both of your smokes, you still have the paranoia. Should I keep going? Vitality has so much utility in order to be able to help him take this round back. You got Sayonara in the position as well. I don't think investing the Viper Spit here might be the smartest idea. He's always gun barrel. He knows he's already down. And again, just as I said, they have enough utility to take down a whole barrage, not just two people. So this is really good with Vitality. Their util usage has been so perfectly aligned with each other so far. You see Durkee go from mid. Prophet covers him from immediately the double doors. So the combination on this team has been really crazy. I think the way they use their util, the way they sync with each other has been massively above ULF at this point. ULF are just either go crazy, or we don't use any util and just call it a day. But Vitality has been way more organized in their util usage than ULF so far, at least in Haven. And this is what makes the big difference in the 5 rounds between both of them now.
And I gotta say, like, this is how ULF won Ascension. This is the identity of ULF. They are, for all intents and purposes, I would just have to say, a weaker BBL. Unfortunately, is the reality. Like, BBL got the better firepower, so they're able to do that to even the best teams in EMEA. Not going to be the case against Vitality here. Never going to be the case against Kron, who, on the sniper, sure, he started off cold, but right now, he's fighting his footing.
think playing against a team like Vitality, they know how to counter the chaotic play style. And again, I highly disagree with putting Sop on the Neon, because the entire idea of you having a Neon in your team, again, you do want faster engages. Okay, I understand that Sop is very good with the operator, but like, you're slowing down your team, you're making yourself handicapped on purpose, because if you're not getting the Neon going in as quick as she should, she's definitely not going to be making these shots. But Sayonara, as usual, holding Seaside with his life. However, Odas might be able to get the spike planted just for the extra credits. Cancels the plant again and takes down Profik, all with 30 HP and a dream. But then you have Durka gliding here, holding space button. That counts for free, and 3 kills for Durka. Now shining with his operator, so... Off, I guess we have to take a tech pause here, maybe? I mean, sorry, tag pause. That letter makes a huge difference.
No more text, please.
I don't want to
no
see
more
any more
text.
text. Yeah, thank you. Tag, not tech. Tag.
Okay. I mean, tactics-wise, Vitality definitely being the better team here. But there's definitely some space for Ulf to play in, which is something that, hey, maybe Vitality can try to improve on that, be a little bit more crisp in their rotations. But credit where credit is due. Ulf is spreading the map pretty well. They've been pressuring Garage for the past few rounds. This time, the conditioning has changed. Instead of playing a default for the first 20 seconds, they went for the immediate duel and insertion. And while Fabian is cleared out of short, the rest of the team can actually pivot back if they want to. They could have committed onto the C site, but it's only and only Sop on that line of sight. He's supposed to be a nuisance. He's supposed to buy time, and he's able to get the job done. The judge finding his value, but so does the operator. Such a well-played angle there from Sayonara, and that makes it a lot easier for both Yampi and Durka to finish double. Now holding on to this A side, and it seems that this is the final destination for Ulf.
Now, what do we have here, Ulf? We still have the Viper split. You still have Paranoia going into Nautas. You have one smoke that is going to be coming pretty soon. Is Profit going to look for a knife kill here? No, no, no. Yes, yes, yes. He doesn't want a knife him. Respect. Respect for Profit. Minus aura points, but it doesn't matter. Sportsmanship is all what matters in the end. Now, Fabian has so many corners to check if he plans to peek outside of this angle, but it gives him enough time, enough for Yampi to know exactly where his hit is. And it's 8-1 for Vitality. Not looking good for Ulf. Again, just a gentle reminder. Don't get me wrong, it's their map. They chose to go against Vitality in Haven. I told you that this team does not lose Haven. So far, according to statistics, Vitality has been very good on this map. They have good coordination, strong individuals, and also, Ulf recently won a 13-9 in this map against Navi. So they were maybe like a little bit more confident in their Haven, but they had to face a team that knew how to counter the quick play style and again the Turkish madness. Because Vitality has been so exceptional at shutting them down recently, especially when it comes to the quick entries.
And again, Vitality only loses to the best, and clearly it shows on their tactical level. The new addition, the Moldovan, still excellent in locking down the site, and that is beautiful from Sayonara. Oh, maybe he's the piece missing. And right now, the Millennium Puzzle supposedly combining, but it's actually Ulf that finds some value for a moment. But this is only a momentary relief. The morphine will wear off, and they realize that Vitality has amputated the fangs of Ulf.
Wow. I think this is the only name that... This is the only player that actually stayed true to his name. Sayonara, goodbye. If he sees you on his monitor, you're probably dead. At this point, we still have to see Ulf maybe play it a little bit slower. You have the Viper's ulti, Fabian. Saab has been making so many entries that are not including any util with it. Look, okay, if I'm not mistaken, Oda still had his Paranoia here. Why not use it before engaging so you can buy more space for the Neon instead of just going ham? Because it appears to be like going crazy is not the answer against a team as good as Vitality. And Bofik has seen at least how many feats were these? 6? 8? He knows so many people are in short now.
Here's the thing, numbers is one thing, commitment is another. Ulf again, trying to butt heads with Vitality, this time successfully. The players from Long is finding all the kills, and that is a crucial miss from Daka. Leaves Kron and Sayonara in pretty much what should be an impossible position. I mean, the orb will fall off, but 3 more bullets in the chamber. Sayonara trying to revel in the chaos. Should find a good timing to at least avert the attention of Echo. But everyone else is ready for him. Pixel perfect from Fabian. And even a better shot from Kron. But hey, look, batting the KD is one thing. Getting the round, pretty much never going to happen.
And that shot was completely legal. Through smokes, by the way. Full white, by the way. But it's Chronicle anyways. He didn't want to save because they have enough money and there's one round technically remaining. But ULF finally pays off with their crazy entries. And now, I think it's gotta be go big or go home. How many ultimates did he have in the next round? Let's see. They have the Viper Spirit. They have the From the Shadows. They have the Hunter's Fury, I think, coming up on Nicky. If he lands one more kill, plants the spike or picks up an orb. And you have the 2 defaults coming in from Echo. So 5 ultimates, but you only have Seekers coming in from Yampy. If you do not win a round when you have 4 ultimates at your despise, I think ULF might be really suffering when it comes to the second half. Because if a team plays like this in attacking side, I'm guessing that their defense is going to be definitely weaker. Going in with so much madness, relying heavily on aim duels and causing chaos. Now is the time to cause chaos. Now is the time of madness and disdain when you have 4 ultimates ready at your hand.
Absolutely. But chaos with just the ultimate, it's not going to be enough. I love that though from ULF. It's an attempt to try to force the Seekers out, to try to get the util out of Vitality's hand, but even a better response from Kron. Fortunately, too far away from the rendezvous. So it only ends up being an easy lineup for the one. Profik, excellent.
Okay, Profik.
On that second shot. And that pretty much leaves Vitality with a side that is nearly crumbling on its last legs. The timing from Fabian to get into the site is important because now they can play out the back of each other, and now they got the pit. The Paranoia buys the timing necessary for the 2 players to convene together, and this has just become possible again.
I don't think it is, mate. You've lost Nicky with his post-plan Hunter's Fury, and you got your positions compromised by the Seekers as well. Fabian also takes a beautiful shot here. Of course, he knows where he is. All thanks to the Seekers, which came a few all across him now. And now you're outside the Viper Spit yourself, Fabian. There's not much to save here. And that's what I said. You had 4 ultimates, ULF. You had 4 ultimates. They were not going to get a better chance for redemption than this round. Because again, no, it was the time of madness in this day, but you lost 2 players without even casting 1 util on them. And I think if Fabian had Neki to back him up, perhaps with a Silver Drone outside of the Viper Pit to give him a little bit more info, or the Hunter's Fury, which we have not seen from Neki once in the first half. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Neki has not casted his ultimate once in the first half. I could have missed it, but it was definitely one of the strongest utils that you do not want to give up, especially when your team suffers with one clear thing, which is post plant. How many times have ULF been able to get into sites? Probably 5 or 6 times. How many times have they been able to defend the spike? 0. So you needed the Hunter's Fury to help you.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like a repeat of their game in kickoff, realistically. Vitality, just the better team on all fronts, even mechanically speaking. And I feel like Sayonara have even been a revelation to this lineup. Just the amount of weight he can take off the 2 players that are either Alping and Kron and Durka or love to play more aggressive has made things so much easier for the team. And, you know, personally at least, I do really feel for Yampy being one of the very few players that, outside of his stint with Liquid, you know, I remember like in 2023, right? They made Tokyo, they made champs, they looked pretty good, but 2024 wasn't the best season. They didn't get any international spoils. This time at BBL as well, only a single series away from champs, but it has been elusive for Yampy, right? And I feel like Vitality as a whole, they're building a team to consistently be one of the best in EU. And right now, we're seeing a piece of that. You just compare that level to what we've seen from Na'Vi, what we've seen from KC. Hell, what we've even seen from like both ULF and FUT. It's just a much cleaner brand of Valorant. And even when they're under attack, I wanted to see how many layers there are to this play. So the players on A site not only find the kills thanks to Sayonara being an animal, but they also have already attacked the B side, and Fabian almost finding the collateral there. Yet despite all of that, when all is said and done, Vitality still got the numbers advantage. 10 rounds on the defense of their choice, and the 11th feeling like a reality here. It is foretold, it's a matter of time, and ULF got nothing to say about it.
This is beautiful Valorant coming in here from Team Vitality again. You see one person, you can expect at least one more guarding his back, right? You have not seen one person from Vitality get caught without the kill being traded or without the kill actually maybe providing them some value. It's either they're using it for a bait to buy more time or you have someone guarding their backs. And I think with what happened with ULF in the first half, Vitality are not going to be saving any money, right? Because we've seen ULF win a round just because they had full shields and outlaws on a second round. What kind of psycho gameplay is that? But it worked. Okay, sometimes you gotta get creative. Sometimes you gotta get really smart when it comes to clutching rounds. So you have to expect the worst coming in from ULF here. So Vitality's not gonna be saving a single penny. Sayonara, however, on the other hand, shut down Chronicle here. But again, that was a Marshall headshot anyways. There was no way you were gonna counter that, buddy.
This is Sniper's Paradise. No gangsters in this game. And no cartels. Even Chamber cannot rely on his counterpart to make the magic happen, Fabian. Didn't even need to see the shoulder. I think he just saw a pixel there. And he's deadly as ever on that Sheriff, but Vitality. They skated away with their lives, still down in numbers. Luckily for them, not really any of the guns picked up yet by ULF, but they're already in backside and they were not prepared, but Profik is more than capable of shutting around like that down. There goes all of the chances of a retake. Sayonara pretty much putting a nail in the coffin. Neki with just the classic. Yes, it can do magic at times, but look at where the spike is planted. Look at where Vitality are playing. This is, again, Vitality just having a masterclass of a raid, and Yumpy's doing it all. The man is fragging, the man is scalding, the man is opening for the team. Now he's playing the initiator. And I feel like with that kind of firepower that you can even say, hey, Profik, Kron, Sayonara, go kill. And they just win rounds, even against a VCT team.
Yeah, just give the order, mate. At this point, it's also not just good calls and IGLing overall, yes, but I believe that even when someone on the team makes a mistake, you have someone covering up for him. Like, we've seen Derek miss like a few shots on Sop and Odas here when it came to the backside engages, but at least he was a punching bag for Profik to land these skills. Like, even if you're gonna miss up a few shots, you have someone else covering up for that. You have someone else giving you time to lick your wounds on the shots. And this is what Vitality has been doing. Good teamwork from them overall. Now, this is a beautiful play coming in from Neki and Odas, because if one of them died, the other would have been able to make the trade happen, and that happened. They did give him the trade. But again,
Important one, yeah. And the other side, the A side, they find the kill and Sub. I've slowed down the take, and now just one player remaining, Yumpy. Sure. Usually, I would say that he's got the pieces, but he's lost all of his util, and he's lost his life. Oh, find the third, then. I'm still a little bit scared that that is all that they're gonna amount to, because Vitality still can afford to purchase one.
it's a good shot. It's a good shot from Fabian. Knocking down the MP who has had the spike. If he killed Fabian here, there was definitely a chance to plant a spike and look to play it from so many angles and see side. But there we go, ULF. We're elevating. Odas and Neki covering each other's back. You have Sop and you've had Fabian covering both of them B side. One of them went to door and the other could hold B main. So teamwork is definitely elevating here, but you cannot compare them to a team like Vitality here when it comes to communication and teamwork. Yeah. And of course, because they forced the last round, they're going to be suffering on economy a little bit this time. They spend so much money on their util, which again is something they're heavy on. You have someone like Sayonara that could have been able to afford a Vandal. Same thing goes for Profik, same thing goes for Chronicle, possibly. But again, being aligned as one team when it comes to util and also firepower is something that's really important. You don't want two people on your team buying and the rest just suffering, picking up what's ever left from the war.
Lovely. Lovely tip damage. Forcing the issue.
Arrows.
So they find the damage and the kills. Durka, while still healthy, he's been figured out, and it feels like Vitality are kind of forced to make a move right here. They're trying to back up at short, and with Durka finding the kills, suddenly the A side could be open for business. I love that they're not fully committing just yet, though. Very smart from Vitality. They're waiting to see if they can absorb more util, if they can force the issue. And now that the drone is out, they've made their move back towards B, and both B and C side are a lot weaker. If they go to Garage, that is a complete open road. The carpet is basically rolled in front of them just to go to C.
30 seconds left.
I think it's safe to say that they're just playing the mental game with Team ULF here. The paranoia to help up with the rotation as well could have been quite more useful when it comes to C entry, but if they're paranoid, they can't just see, but they can't hear as well. So it's a smart tool to use for rotations, which is an even smarter read from Team ULF.
10 seconds left.
expecting them to go to seaside now. Fabian picks up one pick. They know that they have 5 seconds. They have to commit. You cannot have not one person here committing for the spike. Lovely guiding light coming from Yampi. But he is left with no weapons, has to run for his life now. And I think firepower-wise, it's not that easy for Team Vitality unless Chronicle has something else to say. But Neki says no. Late rotation coming in. Prevents them from picking up that weapon and perhaps clutching the round for Vitality, who are now against ULF that need 8 rounds back-to-back, not just to win, but for a chance in an overtime against Vitality. It's hard, but it's possible.
You say 8, right? But it's actually 10 in totality. They already won 2. But they still need 8 more. If there's something that can be the magic makers, rounds like these where we see a lot of good things from ULF, right? They sniffed out where the attack could be potentially coming from, slowed down the pace of progression at long, and the amount of chip damage there from Neki was so pivotal, who otherwise isn't really having the best of games on an individual level. If anything, Sayonara is leading the server by a mile of Vitality. Switching up their optics again. In the last few rounds, they were defaulting heavier towards mid and B. Only once that they went towards the A site. Echo has consistently been a nuisance though. And maybe one of their tactics could include a way to force Echo off the angle at short. Right now, Echo has already taken himself off, leaving just the operator at A, which should initially be spotted by that Trailblazer, I assume, and it will be, and that forces Sop initially off the angle, but he can still go for a second shot.
Yeah, he has to play very wary here, though, because he has no shields to back him up, and Chronicle takes down orders as well. You're no longer with a smoker present on your team. This is going to be making it extremely hard for Team ULF to retake. So Vitality, if they're able to land that spike, it could be potentially very harmful for Team ULF. And you know, again, that Sub doesn't have a shield on him, so he has to go back. He has to give up the side, and retaking without a smoker doesn't seem like the easiest mission. This could be it for Team Vitality if they're able to land the spike, especially because they also have it on Yampi, who's 1 kill away from getting his Seekers, and Seekers in a 1v4. Maybe 1v3 perhaps after landing. These could be hard. You have the Viper open, you have Profik alive, and now it's down to a 3v2, maybe 4v2 actually, but Fabian is the only one left alive, and it might be seeming like a mission impossible here, buddy. Despite the fact that you got the Viper spit, you're still surrounded by 4 people that want one thing, your head, so they can get to the next map.
10 more days for Sayonara to be legally eligible for a VCT stage, but today he proves what he's made of. 23 kills for what is now still a 17-year-old talent.